Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your May 2022 general readings. We are looking at the first 2 weeks of May from the 1st through the 15th, and this reading is for the air sign of Aquarius. Welcome everyone. Thanks for taking the time to be here to watch these videos, for your likes, shares, subscribes, support, comments. Those of you who reach out for personal readings, always a note of gratitude. It is greatly appreciated. Okay, Aquarius, this reading is for you for the first 2 weeks of May 2022. That's if your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign is in Aquarius. It's relevant if you're cross-watching for an Aquarian. It's a general reading, so of course it's going to resonate a little differently for everyone. Watch all of your signs if you know them, sun, moon, rising, and Venus, because each one can bring in a little additional insight and perspective into what's going on in your life. And if you find that something does resonate with you, you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, perhaps take a deeper look at something for yourself or as a gift for someone else, feel free to email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. You can also see that contact info by clicking on the description link to this video, that little arrow. I'd be delighted to hear from you, and I can usually respond the same day with more information. I do offer a wide variety of readings in all areas of life. And I'm pretty timely in scheduling as well, so email me if you're interested. Okay, Aquarius, let's move right into your reading. I am using the Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with Legacy of the Divine. No, I'm actually clarifying with the Gilded Tarot Royale. Okay, Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. We begin with the devil, temptation, obsession, addictions. It's cyclical energy, the devil, which represents this is something that's been ongoing for some time. The devil enslaves and entraps through something tempting, something alluring, something that we tell ourselves we need, even though the level of attention with it has gotten obsessive, so it's become unhealthy. You can see in the Tarot of Dreams here with the Devil card, there's two couples that are trapped in this cage, but they're not really trapped. The door is open. They could leave, but for some reason there's something in their head that says, I can't because of this, and I need this thing. Ongoing negative cycles with the Ace of Coins. New beginnings, moving, relocating, new jobs, new projects. Perhaps just starting over again and again and again. Next we have the Five of Cups. Sorrow, loss, grief, regret. Not all is lost. You still have two cups upright and full, but the focus is only on what isn't there. Regret. With the Lovers. A relationship at a crossroads. A choice that needs to be made either about a relationship or in another area of life that significantly affects the relationship. This is what's with the Five of Cups, so there's regret over this and a decision that needs to be made. But again, this feels like the same thing over and over again. Whatever this negative cycle is, it's repeating itself. Next, we have the Ten of Coins, long-term stability and security, financial and material issues, perhaps. Long-term relationships. With the Ten of Swords, surrendering to a painful ending. Tens represent cycle completion or coming full circle, cycle achievement here. This represents, whatever put this person face down on the ground. It can represent feeling betrayed, exploited, thrown under the bus, seriously disappointed, but it is at an end. And that end needs to be accepted. Now, let me see. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy and guidance is the Knight of Swords. So information and a conversation coming in, a conversation taking place. Now, because I see relationship energy here because of the Lovers, and the Lovers sometimes represents a choice between two people. If it's a third-party situation, it might be for some of you. If it is, it's an ongoing thing. It could be like repeated cheating or infidelity. But there's also a couple of coin cards here, which could represent that this is something where finances and material issues are kind of tied up with with relationship as well. It could be that this is a long-term relationship or marriage in which somebody is financially irresponsible or can't maintain a job, can't pay the bills, or keeps, going from one job to another, can't build up any security, and that's affecting the relationship over and over and over again. So let's clarify a little bit. Let's clarify the overall energy of the Knight of Swords, which is typically my information conversation knight. Usually comes in and just delivers the information, says what he has to say, and then leaves again. Let's see what that's about. The Devil again. And the Three of Swords, heartache, heartbreak, perhaps breakup or separation. Why? Because something keeps going on. This same negative cycle keeps happening over and over and over again, and somebody is at a breaking point. They don't want to do this anymore. It could be you saying this to somebody else, or it could be somebody else saying it to you. Let's clarify the Devil. I mean, the Devil twice is an indication that this is a really unhealthy cycle, and one that's very difficult to break. Clarify the Devil. The High Priestess. This is trusting your intuition, which is a sense of knowing. Some people call it higher self, some people call it gut instinct, but this is a sense of knowing that something is unhealthy, knowing that something is probably going to keep continuing over and over and over again, and strength, having the strength, wisdom, humility, courage to look at this honestly, to face your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, even looking at the part that you've had to play in this as well. Clarify my cards in the right order here. Clarify the Ace of Coins. For some of you, it might be that somebody just can't keep a steady job. Can't save, can't... The Four of Cups, an offer being made, but somebody perhaps reluctant, resistant, or unsure if they should take it or not. Sometimes this can represent, somebody who feels pretty comfortable where they're at. They already have 3 cups upright, so why bother taking a 4th one? They're pretty comfortable where they're at. Why try again? Because they already have what they need. Clarify the Five of Cups, sorrow, grief, regret. The Knight of Swords again, here's our conversation. And death, final endings. This looks like a relationship of some kind is ending. I mean, the Lovers implies that it's a love romance, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, but, it could be a relationship of any kind that's very connected. It looks like somebody is saying or seriously considering having this conversation that, look, I can't do this anymore. But of course, since this is a general reading, the specifics of that are going to vary, but the energy fundamentally remains the same. It might be you, it might be the other person. Clarify the Lovers. The Six of Cups. Now, this is a card commonly associated with historical connections or connections that have a history. People, places, situations that have been there for quite some time. The Six of Pentacles. This is about paying attention to the balance of giving and receiving, but it's sometimes often referenced as the breadcrumb card because it can represent giving or receiving of a gift, but it's also typically represented by somebody who has a lot to give but only gives a little bit or only gives the minimum. And with the Six of Cups, again, this might be part of that unhealthy cycle. Somebody who's willing to take but only give back the minimum. clarify the Ten of Coins, long-term security and stability. The Five of Wands, conflict, internal conflict, external conflict, petty drama, or circular fighting. Circular fighting means fighting over the same issue over and over and over again. Nobody winning, nobody losing, no solution. It just keeps going on and on and on, which kind of underscores that Devil card energy as well. And this is all clarifying the Ten of Coins, that long-term stability and security. It looks like this feels like a reading about a couple or a partnership in which money is an issue, reliability is an issue, the balance of responsibility and who gives and receives is an issue because there's uneven balance here. And occasionally there's fighting about it and arguing about it, but nothing ever gets resolved. It's just the same thing over and over again. And likely what ends up happening is somebody ends up getting overwhelmed, and says, no, I can't do this anymore. Let's clarify that Ten of Swords. Maybe surrendering to a difficult or painful ending. The King of Swords, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Probably you. Could be another air sign, though. And the Tower. Final endings, perhaps an unexpected event or maybe a not unexpected event that comes in and brings everything crashing down. There's endings all over this reading, and they look challenging, they look difficult. This looks like the breakup or separation of a couple or a partnership of some kind, because there's no solution here except the perpetuation of what continues, and perhaps enabling is probably part of it too. What we allow to continue continues, right? So this is somebody saying, I can't do this anymore. I can't, we're just chasing our tails here. It feels like something needs to be let go of so that you can get to what's on the other side. And sometimes walking away from a situation or relationship is the thing that transforms it. That can happen sometimes. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen sometimes. But you can't do it with that in mind. You have to kind of surrender and move on because you really feel like that's the best thing. Sometimes it's what transforms the original issue and becomes it becomes healthy over time and can be transformed. But most of the time not. But you need to get to the other side of that, because surrendering to a painful ending, Aquarius, is painful, right? So there's a healing process that has to happen, which has good days and bad days. But step by step, you get to the other side of it. And once you get enough kind of distance and perspective, you can look back and go, I'm glad that's over, or that was the best decision I ever made because now I have this. Now I don't have that same kind of pressure and stress and burden and feeling so overwhelmed. All right, let's wrap this up with asking for any advice, guidance, feedback for Aquarius for the first 2 weeks of May 2022. The World, the last major arcana card in the tarot, where a significant chapter or set of chapters, a part of life, has come to a completion. This is a card of graduation. It's about moving on, leveling up, and you're looking now out at a whole brand new landscape full of different options and opportunities. So the next card after this would be the Fool, the first major arcana card in the tarot, a whole new journey starting again. This represents a pretty significant aspect of life being at an end and moving on or needing to move on. This is advice. Here we have that Ten of Wands, feeling overwhelmed at the end of your rope. This is it. This burden has to go. I have to lay this down. I can't do this anymore. The Ace of Swords, a card, new beginnings, mental. This is about illumination and seeing something in the clarity, the reality of what it is, which can be sometimes difficult. This is a card associated with success that comes from seeing something clearly or getting new insight and perspective. Now, sometimes the thing that we look at and we see it's like seeing something in blinding clarity for the first time, right? Like the light bulb goes off over your head. You have the epiphany. And if the reality that you're seeing is not what you like, this Ace of Swords can be challenging. But the success of this card comes from in that energetic space where you're seeing something and you're not liking it. you have the opportunity to make choices and decisions, to take different action, to change your course, to create a healthier reality for yourself. And that's where the success of the Ace of Swords comes in. And then we have the Sun. Light, love, warmth, laughter. The most positive, influential card in the tarot. It uplifts, it lessens, or even negates any heavy, restrictive, depressive, tight energy, and brings kind of a sigh of relief, because just like when the real sun comes out, it touches everything, it illuminates everything. So too does the Sun card when it comes out in a spread. So, but it's all on the other side of this difficult energy, you know, this Ten of Swords and this Tower. It represents that something has to be let go of. And this is very similar to, I think, your sister sign Libra's reading too, where there's an ending that has to happen in order for you to get to the other side. And it can be very difficult for us to work through that ending, because when you're in the ending, it's very difficult to see anything on the other side of it. But on the other side of it is the Sun. It's being able to put this behind you, go through a healing process and put this behind you. So in that sense, while it hasn't been the most unicorny, rainbowy kind of reading, I hope that it's been helpful and that it's brought some clarity to you. Aquarius, these are your messages for the first 2 weeks of May 2022, and I hope you find them useful or give you some food for thought or validate perhaps what you've already been thinking. Again, if any of this resonates with you enough that you'd like to maybe take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading. Feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to hear from you and to work with you, or as a gift for someone else as well. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the May mid-month readings. Stay safe and well. Hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.